is about to happen that has not happened for an age. Entmoot.
Hello and welcome to Entmoot Live. It's back. It does feel like it has been an age since I've done a live show like this one, but glad to have you along for the ride once more. I think it's literally been about 6 months since the last Entmoot Live on YouTube, but I've decided to do one because, well, for a variety of different reasons. There's a few things to talk about, and the Entmoot podcast, which I usually do, doesn't really do news, and there seems like there's loads of things to talk about at the moment. So there's going to be talk all about the new release of the Defence of the North, which is coming out for pre-order this weekend, and then will be launched on shelves the following weekend. So that's exciting. And of course, there's not just been one stream about that today. No, there hasn't. There's been another stream about that as well on the Twitch, which apparently has revealed all things, which is a bit of a shame because I was looking forward to just getting a nice shiny book. But we will talk a little bit about that. Maybe even we can have a debate about whether it's okay to reveal all of the stuff in a live stream on Twitch before or a week and a half before. Maybe we can get your comments on that. We'll also be talking about some of the cool new miniatures that are going to be included in that, including the Easterling Dragon Emperor, the Dale Lance, the Bjornings, and the Bear, which is going to be exciting. And also this weekend, we're going to be talking about the ETC, which is happening this weekend. For those who don't know, this is probably the most competitive tournament out there going at the moment, certainly one of them. And it's a team-related championship, which sees people travel all the way from around the world, and they're going to Ireland this time. So with that in mind, I thought it's only right that I drop in some Irish guys into the podcast. I think all originally from Cork, maybe not all of them. We'll find out in a second. But we've got Dave Coleman and we've got Donal on the stream. Hello.
Hello.
How are we getting on?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks, guys. It's great to have you both on Entmoot Live. I'm going to delve into the comments in a little bit, but first of all, I'm right in thinking you're both from Cork in Ireland. Is that right?
Well, Donald's like, it's kind of Cork, like.
Is that how it is? Is that how it is? Yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah, the child here, he's on the mean streets of Ballinlough, but I'm out in the burbs,
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm guessing it's a suburb, a nice suburb that you're from.
I wouldn't say it's nice.
It exists.
It certainly exists. Yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to call it nice. No.
Good to see you. Yeah, you like your homeland there. So Donal there, and apparently at some point Ivan Sheehan will join us. He's one of the other Irish fellas joining in, and he'll be in later on. But he's been waylaid. He's helping up setting up the ETC itself. So we'll be chatting through lists with you guys at some point later and have a bit of a talk about the hobby. Maybe you could be my panel. To have a bit of a chat about other stuff. But of course, we've got lots of people in the comments as well already talking about what's going on this evening and saying hello. So just a bit of a shout out to all the people in there. We've got Michael Haskell there, evening. We've got Frederick Schultz, hello. John Billy's in, says hello all. Tim Elworth says the excitement is building. It sure is. Frederick Schultz says, where's the whip thread? There's no whip thread. Just get on with what you want, absolutely. There's no theme except maybe Defence of the North. What are my drinks and snacks? My drinks and snacks are the remains of a Guinness. Exactly, because of the theme. I've got a cup of tea and I've got a chocolate thing. It's a millionaire shortbread, but I don't even know what I'll get because it feels very unprofessional to do that while I'm on the thing. Sean Clarkson, he says, evening all. Thomas Minard also in there saying, hey, and that looks like a picture of Marty from Back to the Future as his little profile picture. So there we go. So I guess, guys, I want to talk about the ETC later, but I think we should talk about the elephant in the room first, and that's, of course, the Defence of the North. We've got lots of exciting things that have been leaked today. I don't know whether, Donal, I've not had a chance because you just dropped in just before we went live. I'm not sure whether you've actually seen any of this illicit live stream on the internet, and I know some people will hate it, and in fact I've seen some quite angry comments about it. What do you think of it? Did you see it? Have you watched it? Have you read all the comments? Were you excited, disappointed?
I'm getting some tidbits, shall we say, dropped in a variety of different chats with people with screen caps, because I was working until about 5:30. I don't know when the stream was going, but I definitely wouldn't have gotten it on the delightful London Underground. What do I think? If the rumours about no Elf Legion are true, that's interesting.
No Elf Legion. Oh, you see. So spoilers before anyone goes on. I think we should probably just address that. If I'm not going to go into any great detail about what's in the book. I'm certainly not going to show pictures because I don't have any, and I think it would be illegal in some way. But if we can happily address a little rumors. But yeah, if you really don't want to hear any even slight tidbits or hints about what was in the stream, then we'll avoid it. But I don't want to hear any more than I've seen. So hopefully we'll try not to delve into too much detail. But I mean, and Dave, you said I don't think you've seen much of it either.
No, so I just know what we've seen for the most part so far. I missed the entire that stream today. I was working on until about half an hour ago, so I'm just catching up on what was. I just saw the post about it being closed. The GBHL was locked down for 2 hours, or whatever happened there.
Yeah, I think admins just decided to lock it up because there were some people who were a bit annoyed about it. I am technically an admin, but it's only so that I can post updates on the GBHL. I don't get involved on the sort of policing people's comments side of things. That's very much down to other people. So don't sort of bombard me with messages about that, everyone. By the way, a couple more people dropping in. Hamish Gentles dropping in saying Wagwan my G. Great. And Tim Elwes says, I shall be lapping up the leak like the salty tears that I'm sure will be flowing. Excellent work, Tim. Thanks very much for your comments. And what do you guys think about this? I mean, this guy's literally, or a gal, I don't know, actually. I assume a guy. What do you think to it? Someone leaking all of this stuff and reading through a book, essentially, live on the interwebs. Donald, do you agree with this? Is it okay?
Oh God, jeez, I feel like you're really the BBC's coming out here now. Definitely, no comments. No, do I think it's okay? Probably not. No, ultimately, this type of stuff usually gets released through official channels. Usually catch it through Lachlan because just by virtue of geography in Sorp, and usually get some sort of high quality stuff that way. Do I mind? Not really, because there's a week to go. There's been a year and a half almost of waiting for this. So whilst I am sympathetic to anyone that's like, oh, why is this all popping up on the GBHL? I wanted to read the book. We know so much already. Granted, there are very few surprises left, so I can appreciate if someone actually did want to surprise. You may have been caught by a spoiler, which, that sucks. It sucks for you, unfortunately. There's not much you can do about it. But yeah, illicit streams, probably wouldn't really want to give them my endorsement, but is it like the worst thing in the world? No, the book's coming out next week. It's done.
I think you probably captured the sentiment of many people. I'm guessing you're in the same boat there, Dave. Pretty much. I'm one of the people that do not care for spoilers, be it a TV show, a game, or whatever someone's talking about. Don't care at all for that. I'm going to see it at some point. I'm going to see it in 7 days. We're going to have it, so we're going to know. So I get that point, but obviously, business-wise, it's probably not quite official to have that popping out. Yeah. I put you in an awkward moral conundrum here, haven't I? You're just advertising you up in front of everyone and thinking, is this okay? Is this okay? I think legally, you're probably on the right grounds, but it's a tricky one. And what do you think, guys out there commenting? Do let me know. Do you think leaks are okay? Should we all be sort of delving into these? I'm intrigued to hear everyone's opinion because I don't know what I think. I mean, I saw that picture, the picture shared in the Lord of the Rings Rocks group, and I saw the image, and I'm like, oh, is that what it is? It's that, and I'm not going to say what it is because I think it's unfair if other people are listening and they don't want to be spoiled. But there's something quite cool that hasn't been released yet, and I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that at all, and now I think, I wish I'd found that out in the book a bit, but there we go. Now we've got someone else waiting in the wings. It's very exciting. I can see him. He's in a car, which is excellent news. It's Ivan Sheehan. There he is. Hey.
How are things?
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Ivan. Thanks very much for joining in the stream. I know you were a bit late. Why are you in a car? Are you so eager to get away from us that you just thought you were
I'm in a car park. Like,
Right. Okay. So you're not.
This is
driving.
the earliest I could get. I tried to find a room, but I couldn't. So here we are.
Right. So you're
You're
actually
here.
at the ETC. Is that right? You're setting at the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's very exciting. We'll talk a bit more about the ETC later. But you've been laying out scenery in very sort of regimented patterns, haven't you? I'd imagine.
Well, that part's not being done yet, but it will be.
It's very exciting.
I mean, it's something.
It's real.
It's something.
Having fun, I'm sure. Well, either way, Ivan, welcome along. And I know you three form the majority of Team Ireland number 2. Is that right?
Team
Cork.
Team Cork.
Team Cork. Okay, is that what it is? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the fourth member then? I don't.
David Chambers.
Yeah, old Dave. You would have met him at Stockport.
Old Dave, of course, old Dave. I should have got old Dave on. Sorry,
Yeah.
old Dave. I went along to Ireland and met a lot of these lovely Irish folk not so long ago. So thought I'd drop you into the stream. So it's great to have you all along. I'll just have a quick delve into some of these comments because we're getting a few people commenting about the leaks. In fact, I'll ask you in a second, Ivan, what you think about leaks. But Hamish Gentle says he only plays MESBG. Were there not leaks for other systems recently? Did anything happen because of those? I don't know. As you, Hamish, I only play MESBG, so I don't know. But I think leaks are fairly common in other systems. They happened in the past. Yeah,
they happen in every system.
Yeah,
every.
Do people like them in other systems? Are people as sort of anti-leak as they appear to have been in this system, or at least as divided?
No, they're very pro-leak.
Yeah, I guess.
Basically, Welsh.
Because, like,
what was that?
In my opinion, leaks don't really hurt anyone. People that are going to buy the book are going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, I suppose there's some people who might say, I don't know, that the if you get a book that's the excitement of getting a new book is it's got new content in, and that's part of what you pay for, I guess. But I suppose shortly after it's released, we're all in the same boat, aren't we? After all, so interesting. Battle Camper says the GW police are watching. Thanks, Alex. Good lad, Alex. Battle Camper. Oh, and also while Battle Camper's commenting, he had a real nightmare with copyright on one of his recent videos where he paints.
Yes.
And he literally paints in a boat. Rowing up a canal.
The greatest video.
Absolutely fantastic. No spoilers here, but go and watch that video, especially because for some reason, one of the music tracks that he composed or had composed to sound like something has been copyright and flagged by YouTube, and someone else is claiming that they'd written it, which he'd written. Anyway, so go along to that if you haven't already watched it, and if you have already watched it, watch it again because it's been re-uploaded. Michael Haskell says, well done, welcome, not well done, Michael. Well done for joining us, Michael. Welcome, Michael. He says, the older I get, and I am knocking on a bit, he says, the more I don't want spoilers. In this case, we're only days away anyway. Yeah, I know what you mean. If it was like 3 weeks in advance or a month in advance, would it be better? I don't know, but I kind of agree. It feels a shame because like you say, we're paying for something. We're paying partly for something new. Interesting. Warren Rohan, Hamish Gentle says, had we already seen reveals from content creators by now? Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's on the Rohan one from Lachlan, right?
Yeah,
So
I think Lachlan Linton Keane did a lot of stuff on Zorpa's Up, didn't he? He did a couple of battle reports, which were good. And I suppose in many ways, these leaks undermine the relationship that people like Lockie has with GW. And, I want to support Lockie because he does some good stuff on Zorpa's Up. And in many ways, if he has like all these really cool reviews that he's filmed now that are going to come out this Saturday, he's been screwed a bit, which... I have a lot of sympathy for if that's the case. I don't get any free stuff, so I don't care. But still, it's a shame for people like him if that's the case. Tom says, "Go on, sorry."
Does that mean we're being paid?
No, I just said I don't get free stuff. It's the opposite of that. Thanks for coming along for free and spending your whole evening talking.
Jesus.
Yeah,
breaking out the 21 lid for you, Harry.
Yeah, I know. Half a pint of Guinness when I next see you. A half.
Thanks.
A whole half.
A whole half already, yeah. Tom Minard says, leaks happen and they always will. Some companies like EA and Activision deliberately get people to leak content to drive up hype. Yeah, that's interesting. Sean Clark, I think it's a shame. The Middle-earth team are an outlier. They work hard and communicate with the community much more personally than other departments. There's a fair point there. Don't send the book out early if you don't want it leaked, says Tim. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this guy is who's got this stream, and I'm glad you guys are all watching me instead of going back and looking at that. But someone has commented. I don't know how to pronounce that, but there you go.
That's Cork Dave.
Is that old Dave? Oh,
That's Dave Murphy.
Oh,
That
Dave
is,
Murphy.
he used to be Cork Dave until we found out he likes his steak very well done. So now he's very well done, Dave.
Very well done, Dave. Well, there you go.
Go eat a flipper, you Jackie.
Battle Camper says douche, and he says composed in quotes. Very good.
Just on the topic of Battle Camper, he's basically no better than a simple Corsair, which I know will really bug him for getting copyright struck.
Very true. Battle Camper's true hero, says Tim. Thanks very much, Harry. Thanks, Tim. Russell Priest says the spoilers are a shame, but sadly it seems to be going that way across a lot of GW's games at the moment. Yeah, I think after a big sort of hypey weekend where they released a lot of stuff, I guess maybe the leakers are abound and they're up for it. But Ivan, I haven't heard your full opinion. What do you think? Is it okay to leak, and is it okay to consume leaks? Should we be closing down the GBHL for a couple of hours to stop these things being posted? I don't know. What do you think?
I think that it's largely fine. Like, it doesn't hurt anybody. If you don't want to look at the leak, you can just not look at the leak. I don't think. Did they really need to shut down the GBHL? Could they not have just deleted the posts? Or
I guess I think it was paused briefly just in case that loads of people suddenly started, sending out hundreds of posts about.
There's no doubt that the people who want the leaks to be shown will just comment on everything, linking the stream or something on different posts. So you can stop all that.
Realistically, the leak's out. You're not going to be able to stop it anyway.
Yeah, I think anyone who's embedded in the scene. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think anyone who's embedded in the scene will probably find out the main leak of certainly that photo that's been posted in one of the groups.
Orphan.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we're not doing spoilers. Nobody said that until after I started spoiling, so I'm the bad guy.
Sorry, everyone. No, it's fine. I'm sure people will know about it in the next. Well, they will know about it in a week on Saturday. Andrew Cuthbert says it's gutting that some of us who like the slow drip of new and upcoming material have had new minis revealed against our will. Yeah, that's true. I guess it's more against GW, though, right? I mean,
they're always released against your will.
Yeah, we don't have a say in that.
Nobody asked my permission to release a model.
But I see what you're getting at, Andrew.
I do.
It feels a bit of a shame that we've not had a. But there you go. Dave says, "Very well done, Steak, for this dub." There you go.
Yeah.
A waste of food.
Top drawer contributions, top drawer contributions.
Top drawer is always.
So that's the other thing you can comment on. How do you like your steak done? And is Dave correct for having it well done?
It's about to kick off here. The leaks are a thing of the past. We're getting into real ethical quandaries right here. So should people be allowed to waste steak? It's
something to really get your teeth into and chew on quite a lot if it's well done. So with that in mind, there have been obviously quite a lot of releases that have been officially approved by Games Workshop to build up ahead to the Defence of the North week on Saturday, I believe. So the pre-orders go on Saturday. I'm intrigued at what you guys think of them just generally. I mean, we'll rattle through the four main ones. First of all, Bear. What do you think of that? I mean, let's go with you first, Dave.
Oh, I think they're a stunning model. And I always liked Bjorn, but obviously he's a bit lacking in the game currently. So hopefully the Legion will knock him up a bit anyway, a small bit. But even that model, like all the models that Forge will do so far have been top. I presume that's Forge. It looks like a Forge model, a character.
I think they're all going to be Forge Wheel, to be honest.
It looks Forge Wheel to me,
They look simple enough to put together. Like not simple as in easy, but like just not complicated.
Yeah,
and all their sculpts so far have been top tier.
And there's definitely a sense of style of all the sort of human characters as well, like your Barlamans and your the Dunlending heroes. There's a kind of a sense of I think it's quite obvious it's the same sculptor, and I really like that they're kind of developing their own style for the humans to it as well. But the bear, I mean, the bear is awesome.
The bear looks class.
Yeah, and the humans are the Bjorning is very much Gorulf-esque.
Yeah,
they're all Gorulf-esque.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but they look pretty cool. And
very good luck,
the bear I like because some people have criticised the old bear of Bjorn because he looks a little bit thin and kind of fragile looking, but this guy has real heft. Like that is a hefty bear. He looks angry. It's good. I really like that. So people do feel free to chip in on any of the models that we're talking about, and of course on Steak, which is already starting to go off in the comments, which is great. And on the Bjornings, what do you think of this? So they've got beards, that's good, except the lady, of course.
Yes.
And I don't know, the one on the right looks very tall and kind of thin, and they look almost a bit too regal. I thought they'd look a bit more rugged. I know they've got rugged beards, but I don't know.
They do look very clean.
They do,
maybe that's just a paint job, but
yeah,
I would definitely do that sort of greeny white sort of jacket coat thing that he's got on the right hand side in a much darker kind of drab stained kind of look. But you can definitely get a sense of these guys, looking, kind of rural.
I do wish they were a little bit more posed. I think they're just a little bit too static.
Now,
yeah.
I think the reason for that is because they're going to be interchange. They're going to have lots of hands and lots of heads.
Lots of
options.
Yeah, options. That's what I mean. So,
and then if they've with enough hands and stuff, you might be able to mix and match or convert a bit.
Yeah.
To at least get them looking different across the force.
Yeah, because you do get a sense here that, as you say, they're kind of classic stand-up, with one and then arm that you can do all this sort of stuff, the old Action Man poses. So I think they look quite cool. I'm intrigued to see how they're going to be put together. But yeah, they're looking nice. But I do like the bear a lot more. I mean, the bear's just cool, isn't he? What about the Dale Lance? Was anyone expecting this?
No, I wasn't anyway.
It's not bad though, isn't it? I certainly wasn't expecting it, but I mean, I know a lot of people don't really like the sort of proliferation of siege weapons in the game, but this definitely caught me off guard. I mean, what do you guys think to the inclusion of a lance, another lance, or another version of a lance?
It's fine, but it's not going to be as good as something like an Uruk siege ballista because it doesn't knock things back; it just hits one thing.
Yeah.
Mm. So it's just going to be like, oh yes, because this was revealed in the article, wasn't it?
It's just a big crossbow, basically. It's like Bard's one. It's just a big crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose you won't be able to have the black arrow. The sort of.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I hope so. Black arrows.
If it's anything like, because it's more in line with the Hobbit films rather than the books. Well, of course, because it's a bloody bolt thrower, not an arrow. But all of them have black arrows, don't they?
The article said that especially when they're carrying arrows. Yeah,
when Smaug is attacking Dale, all of the lads have black arrows in their ballistas.
Okay.
At least in the film, because like in the film they only have one type of arrow.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course,
that's what I'm getting at. So I just feel like they will have a black arrow.
I don't know the lore exactly, but isn't there only one black arrow left by the time Bard?
Yeah, well, Bard has one, but in the lore, like Bard's black arrow is just an actual arrow.
Just a big
arrow. A bow and arrow.
Yeah, he just gets them in the scales. He just goes, there you go, hot shot,
Well, there you go. Let's go back to the comments. Steak has to be raw and almost wriggling. Yeah, it has to be rare.
Doing God's work, Andrew.
Battle Camper says, at least it's not like when I was younger and I went to see Pirates of the Caribbean in the cinema and the end of the film was spoiled in a toy commercial played before the film. Oh wow, that is ruthless. Yeah, that is awful. Not super relevant, but I've never gotten over it. I think it's pretty close. Yeah, I guess it's not quite.
Get a refund after that.
Yeah, definitely.
I would. Yeah, that'd be awful.
Or at least piss on the seats.
They should add normal bears as a unit for the army, Frederick says, and Bjorn's dogs and stuff, and all the other animals. Bees. I want everything. In MESPG, giant bees, that would create a buzz. Excellent work. That's good. Yeah, he's an absolute unit, says Battle Camper, and he really is. This is probably Bayonne still. And then maybe a few forest hipsters. Yeah, I like that. Lol, the people look ace, but the bear looks like he's just had a shower and not dried off yet. I mean, yeah, I can sort of see what you're getting at. Again, maybe he's like just ruffled, spun his, shaken a bit, and it's all sort of sticking up like a bit like a Mohican, like his. But I like it. I think it's pretty banging that. But nice comment. Thanks for that one. Praise to Gaming says, love the Bjornings since they all look like witches. Yeah, it's a non-Lord of the Rings reference. Positive. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. Praise to Gaming, but yeah, we'll look at that. Yeah, that's cool.
Like a leak.
Frederick Schultz says, I can't believe we've not had any women can't fight with axes comments yet. Sure. Yeah. Well, I guess there's representation there, which is something that some people will be angry about.
The probably because the page was locked down for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, exactly. We didn't have that. Yeah, the Bjornings will be great for conversions. Sorry, I thought it would be great for conversations. I'm not convinced they're going to be great conversationalists with conversions with extra arms and heads, which is a fair point. And Tim responds to Frederick Schultz, "You've not met my missus," about the women can't fight with axes comments. The bear is great. Grim Bjorning and the Bjornings look awesome. Really looking forward to those. I totally agree, Michael. I got Brewdog vibes from the Grim Bjornings. Beautiful sculpts, though. Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. This is, if I recall, Phantom Menace released the film soundtrack before the film, and one of the track titles rather gave the game away. R.E. Darth Maul's fate. Yes, that's probably true. It's probably littered in pop culture, those sorts of things. The last picture I wanted to share with you was the Dragon Emperor. Of course, we've seen this already.
He's definitely excellent.
But I mean, the more I look at it, the more I think this is absolutely insane, right? I mean, it just looks so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I think the biggest shame with the Dragon Emperor is how good the foot model is when you'll realistically never want to use it.
Mm. Yeah, it's a bit like the Mummock War Leader, actually.
If you, that
guy, but he falls off his Mummock.
Poor lads.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah.
He's right here, just looking so cool. It's like, I never want to see you.
Yeah, because if you do need to whip him out of the box, you're in trouble. But I must say, like, I think we've had a few more leaks and a few more sort of official comments about the Dragon Emperor and the sort of. I don't know whether people know the points yet. It probably was mentioned in that leak stream. I don't know, but either way, and it's going to be quite pricey points wise. If it's got 6 attacks plus the Dragon Emperor himself, there's like 9 attacks, and then fight 6 with an Elven Blade, with Strike. I mean, I'm guessing it's not going to have knockdown or anything like that. That would be insane. But even if you charge, a cavalry model into something and this, you're getting like 18 shots on the knockdown. That's insane, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some sort of rule because these guys are carrying a palanquin. How are they going to really fight?
I wonder how it'll work with cavalry. Can cavalry just go in and just kick it over?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So, and I guess if he gets knocked over by Nature's Wraths and things like that, then it might be a bit annoying, or monstrous cavalry. But still, it's cool. I really like the model. Looks amazing. And what do we get? I put this post in the GBHL a while ago. And what do you think we're expecting price wise for this? I mean, and I know you guys are in euros, aren't you?
£120.
Yeah, I would say between 100 and 120.
I think
I would have thought Guahir price ish.
Really, I think more than that.
Maybe a bit more than Guahir.
What's the Iron Hills chariot price?
Sure.
Oh, that's very chunky though. That one.
I think this is just going to be as good.
Because you get 6 goats with that as well. Like, it's a lot of material.
It's €150.
Yeah, so £121 or thereabouts. And I think it's going to be that. It's going to be exactly the same or near about. Because think of how like fiddly this looks. Look at all the parts. Like, there's lots of little bits, and probably going to have to. I'm not looking forward to assembling it at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether you guys have assembled any acolytes yet. But the Dragonquill acolytes are an absolute nightmare. The little tassel that hangs below, sort of between the legs, it was glued on separately, and you have to try and fit your finger sort of through this little hole and kind of
keep it PC, Harry.
Yeah. But either way, it's a nightmare. But so I'm not looking for it. It's going to take me weeks to assemble the damn thing and then painting it. God. But it does look amazing. It's going to be great fun to whap out. So that's good. Let's see what else we got. So agree with that. 100% RE the dismount. Yeah, it's a lovely Easterling King Emperor dismount. But the bear is better than the Emperor, says Frederick. Controversial decision.
Good man, Frederick.
Are you agreeing with that, Donal? Or
I just think bears are class because they're my NFL team.
Oh, right. Excellent.
Easy vote getter here. Easy vote getter.
Yeah, fair enough. Dragon Emperor is just amazing. It's what has got me onto the Easterling Trail. Yeah, I was well on the trail beforehand, but it's certainly getting the red and the gold out of the paint pot box again.
Yeah. Get that 4 and 2, Harry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. The weekend spoilers for the next podcast. I did okay. I did okay with the Easterlings and the Passage of the Wolf. But find out in the next glittering Entmoot podcast, which is coming probably on Sunday or Monday. So very exciting.
Don't let it get leaked.
No, I won't. Can you put the foot model on the chair thing and the other model as the dismount? I mean, you're asking the wrong
Probably
people,
can.
but I think you.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to.
It's not like he's going to get any taller or shorter, and I don't think he shoots. I would wager that's a guess. That's not a spoiler.
Unless his like feet happen to be part of whatever piece the palanquin is, maybe.
No, you could fill that in, like.
Yeah,
I know you fill in, but it'd be it's a little bit awkward.
Might be a little fiddly, but
yeah.
I think you could probably do. You could probably have him pinned on and removable in some way if you wanted.
Well, they're very good at this lately. Like with the likes of I know plastic's not the same as Forge World, but with Theoden and Aemir, like the interchangeability between like the different variations has been really good. So I don't think that would be too difficult here, based off of nothing.
With the Dernhelm and it's Gandalf the White, isn't it? Where you can take Pip Merry off. So maybe there's something like that. Who knows? It's a good point though, Tim. That's interesting. Andrew Cuthbert says, not sure if it's the paint job, but I get wicker furniture vibes from the chair.
It's Christopher Lee crossover.
That is the finest Lake Town shield weave I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is solid Defense 5 quality shield there. What else have we got? We've got there's very little to spoil at this stage. Well, you don't know that, Dave.
Only stakes with this guy.
Yeah. Bert Leach says, I think it's 170, but from pure hearsay. ? I think Bert might know more than he's letting on, but because you don't have to say from pure hearsay unless you actually know that it's true. I reckon it's probably about that for points wise. Oh wait, are you saying points or pound?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I hope he's not saying pounds.
Yeah. If it's 170 quid,
pounds,
then that's you can get an Amon pen for that.
It's a hard pass.
Yeah. 170 is too much, isn't it? What else we got? But welcome along, Bert. Don't think you said hello earlier. Andrew says, beautiful mini though. Correct. Praise to Gaming says, I think he's 160 or lower. Yeah, I mean, points wise. We were talking money. I think. Oh no, we are talking points. Says Bert.
Mm-hmm.
I think. What do you guys think? I mean, it's difficult because it's going to be it's going to depend very much on the downsides. They've only advertised the upside so far, right, Dave?
I personally would be shocked if he was less than 200. If Andor is around 145, I'd be surprised if he's only 165, 170.
Yeah.
For all of his benefits and all of his attacks and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, even just if he was on foot, he would be good, right? Like,
he's
like 3 attacks.
He would be,
Yeah, and you get all the banners and the Fight 5 bonus and the Legion and all that. So yeah, I thought a good comparison would be someone like Aragorn, maybe less than Aragorn because it's Aragorn.
Utabi, she's 115, isn't she? Or what are thereabouts?
Yeah, I think 110? So. 120, 110. Yeah, 110 sounds right.
Yeah, so like if she's that and all of his abilities stacked on top of that, I think he's a 200 point.
110
ish. 110.
Yeah, 200 wouldn't surprise me, but I think he'll be 180 or so.
I'm inclined to agree.
Just because a lot of Eastling stuff is quite overpriced, it kind of pays to make him a little bit underpriced.
Yeah, and we've got to remember they've got a very expensive resin model to sell. So if it's too overcosted, then will they? And I think that is, although as much as I think that Middle Earth is pretty balanced as a game, the rules writers have privately admitted to me, which I'm now airing in public, that they do take those sorts of things into consideration sometimes.
Otherwise, they won't have a job for very long, will they?
Yeah. That's true. Dave says, most people, myself included, still buy the book anyway because most prefer having a physical book. If you don't want to be spoiled, just avoid social media. Yeah, Dave, I don't know whether it's possible to avoid social media in this day and age, but yeah, fair enough. I think we'll still buy the book, won't we? Let's be honest.
It is tough.
As super fans, we will. So there you go. That's a bit of talk about the toy soldiers and the releases. I think it is Saturday, isn't it? I mean, they said it's up for pre-order.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So it'll be pre-order on Saturday, and then hopefully it'll arrive in the days following that. So that's exciting. And I'm guessing you guys are all going to be getting it.
Might be a little busy.
There's going to be a man getting a book in Cork.
And then a man quickly going to the photocopier.
Yeah.
No, I'll be buying it all right, I'd say.
Yeah.
The book anyway, at least.
Yeah. It's just a matter of the rest of the stuff, I suppose, isn't it? But either way, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes things up because there's so many new armies and models and legions potentially that's going to be bringing it up. So I guess things like the ETC might become a little different next year. So, and with that segue, let's talk a little bit about the ETC. Although first, I'm going to play my little game. This is a game that I do every time I'm on Entmoot Live. And for those watching for the very first time, this is a completely ridiculous game. It's just a bit of fun. But if you're painting your miniatures, just pop them down now. Focus on the screen. Look at our lovely faces for a bit because we have a game. It's called, and let me get my little clip.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
What do your elf eyes see? Yes, that's right. So this is all about you keeping a focus on this clip. And I'm going to ask you a question immediately after this clip from the films. And you have to sort of soak in every single aspect of it, aspect of the video. And then I will ask a question and you have to try and work out the answer based on your memory. Do you guys all understand?
Yes, you're going to be asking us what
Yeah.
colour his toenails.
Say
But
what
I'm
you
not gonna
see, yeah.
Yeah, say what you see, but I'm not going to tell you the question in advance. Okay, so everyone in the comments, get ready. We're going to play a clip. I'll maybe play it twice because it's quite short, this one. But have a watch of this. Focus your eyes. Focus your eyes. Here we go.
Never heard of him.
I'm a wizard. Perhaps you've heard of my colleague Radagast the Brown. He resides in the southern borders of Mirkwood.
What do you want?
Well, simply to thank you for your hospitality.
Okay, of course, Bayonings. It's all on brand, isn't it? Okay, so you've watched I'm going to put it on one more time, just so you can really. Now you know the scene. You're not going to be caught off guard. So look at all the extraneous details, and I'll ask you a question after.
Never heard of him.
I'm a wizard. Perhaps you've heard of my colleague Radagast the Brown. He resides in the southern borders of Mirkwood.
What do you want?
Well, simply to thank you for your hospitality.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the question, and then we'll give a few seconds for the comments to catch up, because I think there's a delay between the comments and all that sort of stuff. So everyone at home, you've watched the clip, you know what's going on. You guys over there in Ireland or in London in your case, Donal, will know what's going on. So the question is, how many animals could you see in the background of that clip? And special bonus points for what animals they were, if you can get them. So have a good think. People have already started guessing based on what they think it could be. Frederick Schultz thought that I might ask about how many Gandalfs there were, how many Beorns there were, how many clowns there were. But people are getting it. Andrew Cuthbert says 1. So it's not that. But how many animals did you see in the background? I can see Ivan thinking so hard. You're not gonna have those people in a second.
Cogs are turning.
Really focused then. So here we go.
I'm watching someone reversing near my car.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. That's more reasonable. The comments are streaming in now. People are guessing the different animals, the different types, all that sort of stuff. So I've written them down. I've realised I haven't actually added up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Good. Right.
The poor clutch on that car,
Okay, so let's go around the houses. Dave, how many do you think? There are? How many animals do you think there are?
Was there 4? I think that's
4.
Like 2 goats and 2 chickens.
2 goats, 2 chickens. Okay, interesting. Donal, what do you think?
I saw 2 goats.
Yeah.
Child, was your mum there?
No,
No?
she was not there.
Only
Not
2
in
animals,
this
so
You just flipped over, Ivan.
someone's reversed too hard into him.
Yeah, it's rammed into him. Ivan, so your guess was how many was your guess in total then, Donal?
I only saw 2, so
You only
2
saw 2.
goats.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you go with 2. And Ivan, what's your guess?
Well, I could barely make out the goats because I was watching on probably like 720p on a phone.
So what was your guess?
The hope of making it, I'm gonna say 2 goats
2 goats.
because the hope of making anything ever that wasn't a goat was a fool's hope.
Well, I mean, there was
How many
an
leaks
animal
did you
that you
see?
could argue is bigger than a goat. But let's have a look through what people are guessing. Loads of people guessing. People love this stuff. It's great. It's absolutely nothing to do with toy soldiers, but I love it. Okay, here we go. Andrew Cuthbert says one animal. And that is not correct. Close, though. Battle Camper says either goat or pumpkin. Not quite a number, but I'll let you have it. Sean Clark says 5. Okay, 5. We've got a number. This is interesting. Sean, if you can list... Oh, okay, you've listed it below. That's good. Bert says 4. Goat, pig, 2 chickens. Did you see that? None of you saw the pig, so that's good. There was a pig. Frederick Schultz says 7 animals. He hasn't shown his working, though, so we'll find out what the score is in a second, because, Andrew Cuthbert says 1 pygmy goat. Okay, fine. Sean says 2 goats, 2 chickens, a pig. That's 5. Battle Camper says 9, and he refuses to state specifics. Frederick Schultz says an elephant and an ostrich. Frederick Schultz says 3 lions, 1 bear. Lol, 1 bear. Okay, so there's some of the guesses. And the answer, in fact, was correctly answered by Frederick Schultz. It was 7 animals. And to run through them, there was a goat. There was a chicken behind Gandalf's head in one of the shots. Then in the wider shot, there was a second goat and a pig. And then there were 3 chickens in the bottom right of the screen. So I'm not going to show you the clip again in case I've got it wrong and everyone scrutinize it. But there you go. That is the aim of the game. What do you L5C? So for you, Frederick Schultz, you are a quiz winner. So you get a drink of Ent Draft. There you go. That's just for you. Right. Right, lovely. Okay, so let's move on now. So everyone can get your paintbrushes back on. We're going to be delving into the sort of toy soldier stuff, talking army list in particular about the ETC. Andrew Cuthbert says bonus points for the animal actors' names. Yes, if you can name the animal actors, then go for it. So for those people who don't really know what the ETC is, because it's kind of an invitational, isn't it? It's like it's only the good players or the only players in some cases. Yeah, indeed. Well, that's why you're in Ireland too. So just to explain a little bit, maybe Ivan, because you're there at the hotel, you could explain a little bit about exactly what the ETC is and how it works.
Ivan's also our foremost expert in the ETC.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
Effectively, each country has a representative. Each team representative picks their team in whatever way they see fit. It can be a competition. It can be like the English team that's like the top 4 people in the GBHL league.
Mm-hmm.
The Irish scene just kind of gets 4 people that can go.
If that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some countries can send more than 1 team if they have enough people. And how it works then is you're all just divided into teams. You're put into groups like a Champions League or something. You play everyone in your group. That gives you your seed on the first day, which then goes into the second day, like a semi-Swiss by the end of the day, but you seeds on the first day. The seeds from the first day to determine your pairing for the first game on day 2. And then it's kind of Swiss from there for the last 2 games.
And the points limits and lists. There's a special
800 points.
Yeah.
And the only rules for list rating are you cannot duplicate special characters across your team. So you can have 2 Mordor players, but they can't both use the Witch King. And if you use someone like Gandalf the Grey, it stops you using Gandalf the White. And any other profile similar to that. So like Aragorn, Strider, Aragorn, Elisir are counted as the same profile.
And like Thorin under the mountain or young Thorin, that sort of stuff, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, Dave.
You're not limited, unfortunately, to legendary legions. You can.
We'll get into that.
Yes. Yeah, if the Legion doesn't have a special character, there's no limit on it yet. But I'm hoping that will
I suspect
change.
that will change next year. Having looked at some of them,
Yeah.
so let's.
I'll say at some point in the next 15 minutes, I might drop as well. So if I drop, I'll say bye already, and we'll just keep going until that happens.
Oh, right, okay. It sounds like you're like saying, "Oh, I may drop dead at any point."
Well, I'm looking at the battle
dull.
and I'm just counting down. Like,
oh, right, okay, fair enough. Well, if we lose Ivan, at least we've heard a little bit from him now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, because on the other screen we have some lists from the Middle Earth ETC. So forgive me, Ivan, you're probably not going to be able to read any of this because you're on a tiny screen. But And guys, feel free to comment on these things. Put your analysis in. Because I'm on the other screen scrolling, I won't be able to actually see them until a bit later. But let's have a look at these. So these are all the Ireland 2 list that we're looking at, or we will look at in a second. I think I had it open and I've lost it now. But yeah, so there's loads of teams. I'm scrolling through all of them here. Look at them all. There's just absolutely tons of them. But how many teams are there, by the way, guys? Do you know?
24.
24
nice.
teams for a total of 4 times that.
Well, each team sends in 5 lists. But you only bring 4 on the day.
Okay.
So one of your lists is like either a dud, or in our case, it was a list we put in that might be better than another list we were bringing that we could swap to.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find you. There seems to be only Team Ireland 3, Team England 2. Are your Team Ireland 2, right? I'm sure.
Yes.
Team Ireland 2, yeah.
I had you open a second. Pool E.
They're organised by group, I think.
Yeah, I can't find it now. This must be really incredibly annoying for people watching to scroll, because you probably scroll past it.
If you see Italy 1 or Northern Ireland 1, you're close enough to us.
Harry, Control F, man. Control F.
Oh, yeah, good idea, man. That's so good. There we go. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's just have a look through some of your lists first. So we don't know whose they are, but as you pointed out, some of them have actually got names on. So you just I don't know whether Donal or Dave or Ivan, just jump in and just give us an idea of what you think, what the idea behind this list is. Is it how strong is it, that sort of thing? Kind of, give us a rating. But we've got Throg, 18 Grim Hammers, a Thrain, 14 Warriors of Erebor with Shield and Spear, an Iron Hills Captain with a War Goat, a Warrior with Banner and Spear, 3 Iron Hills Warriors with Spear, and 2 Iron Hills Goat Riders for a total of 41 models. A lot of them dwarves. Is that a strong list? Do you think this is the one you're going to take, or you just don't know yet?
Yeah, it's a weird one for us, because this is my kind of one of the armies that I don't play often enough, but I do really like playing. But we kind of brought it as, if we were thinking about, we see a lot of Angmar or Magic. It's an army that just kind of fights itself. You don't need the heroes to do the work. The army can do all the killing for you, and there's 41 defense 7+ models for the most part. There's a few D6 and there the Goat Riders, but they can handle themselves. This is a very tough list. Mobility obviously isn't ideal, but you do have some goats in there, and you have March at the same time, so it's not terrible. But yeah,
it's just solid, isn't it? It's not got lots of spice necessarily, but it's just rock solid.
You can just put it down, and you can just expect it to work. Typically,
yes,
pretty much.
That's interesting. So let's move on to this one that it says you can edit in Google Sheets, but I don't think you can. And Donal, this is yours. So why don't you tell us a bit about this, because it's flagged your name up. I don't know whether they're meant to be there, but anyway, it's Dalamir, lots of Corsairs, Delgamar, lots of Corsairs, Corsair Captain, lots of Corsairs, and Suladan with 5 Haradrim Raiders with War Spear and Spear, and Abrakan Guard, which is a new addition, I think, to this list for you. Just walk us through this.
I took your basic Corsair and Serpent Horde list that you see out there, and I added these 6 Abrakan Merchant Guard, which I feel are pretty sharp. It's pretty straightforward. It rolls lots and lots and lots and lots of dice, which is good in this game. Unless you want to have a quick game, because then it's not so good. But you try and do it as quickly as you can. The Merchant Guard, they've been inserted in just in the event of situations where you're coming up against like a lot of D6 plus. The Corsairs, they need to get the traps off. So, for example, if that army there was to face the army of Thror, Corsairs will outnumber it and they'll get the traps off, but it's just nice to have something like the Burly Merchant Guard in there that can just potentially go, I'll have that fella.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, especially with dwarves and all those sorts of things. Yeah, and it's interesting because I've not really seen Merchant Guard kicking about on the tables much recently. I think they had a bit of a heyday a while back, but unless they're in a fully Serpent Horde army, you don't often see them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're pretty cheap for what they do, and I mean the whole army is kind of D4. If you can try and target them if you want, from range or something like that, but. As long as they're reasonably well protected, and it's not as if I don't have the sort of ablative Corsairs to get in the way, then there's a good chance they'll just start carving stuff up.
Interesting. Ivan, it looked like you were going to say something then.
Nope.
No, okay. I thought you had some insightful analysis of the merchant guard, but that's okay. Fair enough.
His merchant guard just do not perform in our game.
No, they really haven't thus far. So I'm hoping they've gotten it all out of the way. Yeah. But I've had a minor bit of bad luck, shall we say, because they've been coming up against other, like, a lot of 5-4, which you're going to go up against 5-4 and stuff like that. But like if you go up against Urukai, like if you lose that fight, you did.
Yeah.
So there's lots of situations that they can wind up in where it's like, if I win, I kill you. If you win, you kill me. See what happens.
I guess it does create for a quick game in many ways because you're killing on either side, which is interesting. So
yeah, can do.
That's cool. So Dave Chambers, so this is preferred name, Old Dave, it says there. He's got Saruman, Grimmer, some Crabane, some Urukai Scouts and Warriors, Lurtz, Vrasku, Crabane. So just a kind of pretty straightforward Urukai army. But with Grimmer and Saruman, I love the Grimmer and Saruman armies. They tend to be quite annoying to play against. So I can imagine this good. And of course, the way the ETC works, you can basically or sort of pick your opponent. Is that right, Dave? That you can kind of choose who you're playing against. Just
it kind of depends who you put up first and everything else. But it works better that way for an army. Like this kind of army, to be fair, because it's so kind of cookie cutter that you can pretty much put it against most stuff and have a chance of doing well or getting, even if you get a good draw, a draw or a small loss or a small win, you can do pretty well with overall. It can take all comers really.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's and this is your one, the child, Dave Coleman. So why don't you carry on with that? Mouth of Sauron, Black Numenorians, Morgul Knights, a banner, Durbers, Bat Swarms, Prowlers and Goblin Warriors with Spear, Groblog, Bat Swarm, Prowlers, Warriors with Spear and Shield. Captain, the captain's an odd one. I'm going to ask you about that. And the Watcher in the Water as well.
The captain was there because I basically had 35 points left over, and I could have either gone for a third Bat Swarm, which I didn't feel I needed, but I also like him that he's just a disposable march, whereas the Mouth can then use his might points if needed for. He can do a cheeky challenge transfix, or he can do some sort of action like that, or even heroic combats because he's a better fighter than the other heroes for the most part, but he's 5/5. I try to keep him out of combat for the most part because he is leader in this one, the Mouth of Sauron. But I kind of had 35 points that I couldn't do anything with. The warbands were largely. I could have got a few extra goblins, but nothing crazy really.
Yeah, so, nothing that would massively make your troop better.
And at the end of the day, if he just does 2 good moves, he's done his job for me.
Yeah, fair point. And the Watcher, of course, is what you're leaning on here. It's your crutch.
Pretty much. And he's pretty. Crutch is he's a great model. I've had lots of good success with him. He can take with the Bat Swarms. He can take any model in the game, no matter what it is. A Balrog, Boromir with the banner, anything at all. He's in the last tournament. Even Elendil, just with Blinding Light, just got 6 shots, rolled a 5. Might to a 6 to hit him, pulled him in, killed him. Not a bother. He's just a great model.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
it's
solid. Him, really.
Yeah, and of course you've got the scary front line as well. So you've got a good mix there. A lot of goblins in the background. So 43 models. All of these armies seem really big, like big points numbers wise. And then Ivan, this is one you've played to great success quite a lot, haven't you? 60 models in your Ugluk Scout list. Just give us a sort of a taste of what you think of this.
I suspect he may have dropped.
Oh, was he dropped? Sorry, I can't see the screen. So, well, there you go. He just didn't want to talk about this, but yeah, he's gone. Either way, I mean, you guys. I mean, I've played against him, and he absolutely battered me.
I played against him fairly regularly.
Yeah, it's hard to counter.
There's just so much models, and the heroes, while they're not great, they can still do work.
Yeah,
that's the big thing with them. You have strength 5, you have 3 attacks in or Outlook and Strike, but typically his Outlook is lying on the ground, hiding from whatever's trying to get a leader wound off him. Falling around
100%.
The numbers of pretty decent troops. I know obviously roughly half of them are orcs, but you have high quality troops in there. You have 2 banners as well.
Well, I think it's less than half, isn't it? Because you've got, I think it was a 15 or thereabouts orcs. So it's more like 20, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a bit less than half.
But there's a lot of Urukai in there, and an Orc and an Urukai get the +1, so it's pretty tough to face against with speed, with the drummer and the Mauher upgrade as well. There's lots to like in that list.
Yeah, and he's played a lot. We've practiced against a lot of armies as well. The only thing it doesn't like my army, because it can't really deal with the terror with the -1, and it can't deal with the Watcher. But you can throw it at any other 40 model Gondor army, and you have a pretty good shot at it.
And to be fair, again, the system that the ETC works with, that you might be able to sort of avoid the worst of matchups against.
Exactly.
You can pick and choose. You've got a scary army. Yeah.
And even then, it's not afraid of, he's played the Depths of Moria army a few times with this army, and even against something like the Balrog, you're so quick and you have so much models, you can just avoid where the Balrog is, just not be there anymore. You just cleave it through the other half of the army.
That's true. Okay, so that's all the Ireland ones. So, and before we came onto the stream, you guys mentioned that you thought that Poland had the potential for some really good lists. So let's delve into them. I'm guessing it's below this one. So, yeah, okay. So this is an 800-point assault upon Helm's Deep Legion, and it's got 3 ballistas and 1 demolition team. So this is filthy, isn't it? There's 44 models in there. All of them, of course, Uruk-hai warriors, 3 captains, 1 special one. And I think 2 of the captains have, or 1 of the captains has. No, 2 of the captains have crossbows. Yeah, so a lot of crossbows, massive ballistas, and of course the demolition team. I mean, that's going to be hard to play against, right?
Yeah, and it's one of the armies that I really do not want to be thrown against. I can deal with 1 siege weapon, not 2 or 3, especially the ballistas that reroll to hit and wound, or not to reroll to wound, but reroll to scatter. We don't like that army in general, just because it is one of those armies that's pretty offensive to play against. You just need to walk towards it, hope you don't get shot to crap between the crossbows and everything else, and then you're facing 40 Uruk-hai.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine that with the Watcher in the water, I guess that can deploy pretty close to some of the ballistas, but not all 3 at once.
He can, but they don't have any minimum range, so they can just shoot it right next to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike other siege weapons, whereas against a mortar throw catapult, you can just pop him next to it and they can't shoot him, and he just does his own business.
Yeah, the minimum range thing, that seems like an obvious fix to these guys, because they are pretty strong.
I think they should definitely have minimum range.
Or
they should not be able to shoot half an inch next to them. With the ballista.
Yeah, interesting. And then we've got another legion like this. Is this copy and paste?
I think it's the exact same list.
Do you think this is a mistake, or is this just
no?
Do you think that they're determined to use both of these, Donal?
Yes.
Well, if there was enough stuff out there, I think this has probably been in their thinking for a while, if I was to presume. And if Galadriel Lady of Light didn't get a hotfix, you could drop one and just say, we don't need 2 of these. But she did get the fix in the most recent February FAQ, which was definitely long overdue. But yeah, now being able to bring 2 of these, it's an oversight in the rules. I personally don't think the Bolt Thrower Legendary Legion is good for the game in general as it stands, because it's not an interesting mechanic to play against. It has reliable siege weapons, and it's able to do them fairly redundantly. It's like, I'll just take 3. It's like playing against a 40k army, which I just don't think it's really in the spirit of the game. Personally, not saying anything against the Polish lads, just the army as a concept, I don't think is very good.
Yeah, good shout.
It's a shame. It's like I love the whole. My Isengard army is just the armored fighting Uruk-hai. I just love the aesthetic, and I'd love to run that kind of army, but I just hate to play it. Even though I would, that's what the army I wanted to look like, but I'd hate to put down the table and have an opponent just not enjoy a game.
Yeah, fair point. I played against Bert Leach this last weekend, and he thinks that's what we chatted about over the weekend, Harry. I'd be fine to see a minimum range and firing arcs and assault ballistas. Yeah. I played against his, and it was a tricky fight, it's fair to say. And Michael's saying an unexpected podcast from the DCHL has started to go through the ETC list too. Very interesting mix across the teams. Anyone know if there's been a post-RE overarching stats like some TOs do? Dave and Donal, you might know better than I. I haven't seen anything, but then I didn't know where the lists were until you guys.
That's it. I think with the ETC, it's so hard to find the list even standard. Like they weren't really even posted that they were live. Like he just told some people that they were now out, but no one knew. You still didn't really know the ETC was going on if you didn't watch it.
Well, that's the thing. This is why I kind of thought it'd be worth mentioning this on this stream, because The ETC, as I say, it's an invitational, so only some people in each country are going. So therefore, it's not necessarily a widely known about thing, but it is ultra competitive. All of those players are there with an intention to win. There's no sort of theme or fluff at all. So and that's fine. I love a theme and fluffy tournament, but I understand that there's different ways of playing the game as well. So it's interesting to see these. So let's carry on going through the Poland list. We've got Saruman, Saruman, 2 Orcs, or whereabouts, Craic, Witch King of Angmar as well, Black Numenorians, Orc Trackers, Wargriders, Gurits, Great Beast of Gorgoroth. Interesting. So what's the thinking there? Let me think about it. So Grimmer and the Great Beast of Gorgoroth. That's interesting. I like the sort of the idea that you could force people to spend double their might to try and stop a Great Beast trampling them. Oh, I've lost it. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a really good kind of just eyes and get like an evil soup list. So you have now he's not taking many Urukai, but you do have Black Numenorians anyway. You have plenty. You have 10 Black Numenorians there. Craic for speed. You have Gurds at March. Great Beast does Great Beast things. Just hopefully rolls through D6 lines, D7 at a push if you really needs to.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And even though there are just Orc Warriors at bows, they're very annoying.
Yeah, I mean, there's 9 of them, though, isn't there? So, you've got a good chance of getting a couple of hits and wounds off them.
Yeah. Plus, he has another six trackers, so he's putting out 15 shots a turn.
And yeah, not to be sniffed at. Definitely not to be sniffed at. I'm surprised at the inclusion of the Witch King as well. I mean, that's a lot of magical power, a lot of sort of denial. I guess what do you think the purpose of that is there, Donal?
Definitely, it stops the other army from doing whatever it wants to do. 100%, because that old combination of Harbinger and Black Numenorians, it's classic. You've got Saruman in there as well for really reliable magic. He's just superb. Grima in there to basically, with the combination of the Great Beast, you can see what's going on there. He's going to drop in on top. He's probably going to go behind the Black Numenorians and just go, okay, you're going to stop this Great Beast? Are you sure? That's 2 might points.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then I suppose you've got magic to then get those heroes, drag them into the right spot to get charged and immobilized and all that.
I'm going to presume, I'm not sure they say it here. Saruman's the leader. So the Witch King is completely disposable, so you can use all of his will to just stop lads. Just transfixes, 11 transfixes.
Yeah.
I mean, 11-2 is quite low, though, isn't it, for Will? I guess it's not.
Oh, he's not your leader either. And he got the crown.
Yeah, true. That's interesting. Interesting army. Next one is Gwaihir, Theoden. I think it's the first good one we've seen, or is it? First good one on this list anyway. So Gwaihir, Theoden, Royal Guard, Rider of Rohan, Warrior of Rohan, Royal Guard, 9 of them. Then Galadriel, Uldor, Guard of the Galadriel Court, Galadriel Warrior, Wood Elf Warriors. This is a bit of a mess, isn't it? This is interesting. There's a lot of good stuff in that list, but I don't know what I think about this. What do you think about this, guys?
I'm not a big fan of it. I just feel like Gwaihir has to do pretty much everything. If your guards of the Galadriel Court don't perform and they don't win those fights, your front line, which is presumably the Warriors of Rohan. Well, you have a Rohan Royal Guard as well. You have 9 of them, so you have D6.
Yeah, 9 of them.
Yeah, like it's a small model count compared to other armies, and if you can stop Gwaihir, Theoden can do a bit, but he's got no equipment. He's just got his horse, and that's it.
It doesn't say which one's the leader, does it? Or I know it is Gwaihir.
It has to be Gwaihir,
yeah. Couldn't Galadriel be the leader?
She could have been. Theoden could have been as well.
Yeah, I think I would probably have chosen Galadriel, right?
Galadriel, yeah. Because you want to throw Gwaihir into trouble, and you don't want him to get wounded, typically.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not pretending to know the insight of these guys, but yeah, I suppose fight 6 support and Royal Guard at the front is not bad, is it? But then, where's the killing power? You are relying a lot on Gwaihir, I guess.
Yeah, I think the idea here is to get it into your Angmars or similar.
I think so.
Or even, I think it's good against armies that maybe the others don't particularly enjoy. So Angmar, pretty solid there, or anything with heavy shooting. It's pretty solid there as well. Because I think a lot of heavy shooting armies, not particularly high defense. So the strength 3 infantry should be fine.
Actually wouldn't be too bad against Corsairs and the like.
I wouldn't want to play against that with the blinding eyes. It would be like, great, got all this fight 6, and then there's a bloody eagle flapping around. Yeah, it would be pretty rough because I can't remember are guards of the Glen Record, are they only D5 or they get princely D6?
They're D5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you get around to them, you can probably shut this army down. Well, I don't want to say quickly because they're still 5 bloody 6, but
they're 5/6 and they can shield with their fights.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one to shut down, is it? But there's a few little weak spots, and the riders and the warriors and the Guard of Gladron Court are all quite low defense, aren't they? So I suppose, and even the Wood Elf warriors, of course, there's only and the Sentinels, but I can't see you getting to them very easily.
No.
Interesting,
you won't be allowed to get to them.
I still think Galadriel would have been a better leader in this one. I know there's only one mission that you don't really want her to be the leader, but the rest of them you just crack on. I'd have thought, Galadriel could be. She's pretty easy to hide behind somewhere, isn't she? So interesting. The next one, and I think the final of the Poland one, and I think I've seen this and played against this before. It's Glorfindel on Asphaleth, Círdan, Bilbo Baggins with the ring, High Elf warrior, another High Elf warrior, one with spear, one with bow, Legolas, Mirkwood cavalry, Mirkwood elf, Sentinel, Master of Lake Town, a load of Lake Town guard, Braga, and Alfred, load of Lake Town guard. I think this was called the Last Yellow Alliance or something like that. I won't say who it is just in case it's all secret. But this is a really interesting list, right?
Yeah, I think he was on my most recent podcast, but maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. You fought him in the last round, or
yes,
round 5. Yeah, so it's a very good list. It's got high numbers. The heroes are good. Like Glorfindel can punch things pretty well. Legolas can knock heroes off horses. You have them like yourself, and you've ton of those as well. On top of that,
yeah, it's got all the sort of tricks that you really need, hasn't it? You've got Uber Might with Alfred. You've got the Lake Town Guard, which can be just overwhelming in terms of their numbers, and they can bump up to fight 3 or is it 4? I don't know, but either way,
fight 4 for the games,
yeah. So with the Master of Lake Town, so you can get some stuff there, and Leggy chops people out, and the Sentinels are telling people to go the wrong way, and Bilbo's got it's just so much stuff there, that there's and of course Glorfindel being resistant to magic, or it's super resistant to magic, isn't it? So it's interesting. So I think that's all of the list there from Team Poland and Team Ireland. And I know, like I would say that we delve through them all, but there's literally hundreds of lists. So I think Michael's just pointed out that the DCHL are actually going through all of the lists. So if you want to listen to that or watch that on YouTube, feel free. There are some from England, so I just want to quickly have a quick look at these just because I'm being nosy. We've got an Easterling one. With Ratabi, that's interesting, with the Mouth of Sauron, Razgush, Musgor, Kardush. Really, I wonder whether whoever's written this list or is leaning into the fact that a lot of these are new characters that perhaps people don't quite know how they work yet, maybe hoping that people won't understand how they work and might be able to gain an advantage that way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he played this army at the last Scouring. Scouring, the GT. The Scouring GT, I think he played this exact army, or fairly close, and did pretty well with it. So it's got a nice bit of magic that can shut down an awful lot, and it has killing power with the Man and Orcs, and you still have a decent amount of fight 4 with the Black Dragons hiding around as well.
Yeah, and of course you've got a fight 6, defense 7 leader with Master of Battle, which is pretty handy. I can see it working. I know. I think I know who it is, but I don't know. But and they're a good player. I mean, all of the players are good, so there's no doubt about that. But interesting. The next one is just a pretty solid classic Iron Hills and Hulls of Thranduil and Erebor Reclaim. So Dane with a load of Iron Hills, Thorin with a load of Iron Hills, and then Leggy with Mirkwood Elves, a couple of cavalry as well. So this similar sort of thing. I mean, you can see these lists are very well tuned. Although surprisingly here, they're 4 points under. 4 points under. Can't believe anyone let them get over that.
Yeah, they're good. There were a couple of spears in there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I suppose Iron Hills already come with spears, don't they? But
the crossbows don't.
You see, you could have put.
Do they swap?
I think they swap their shield.
Oh,
or take crossbow instead of shield. I can't remember. I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I can't remember. Either way, interesting to see all of the variety. This is probably one of the coolest ones because this looks like it's pretty much like the army I took to Ireland. So I definitely want to check out this. It's obviously been fine tuned a little bit. and it's lower on numbers, but it's got Aragorn, King Elisar, Gandalf the White, and 22 Guard of the Fountain Court, 5 Citadel Guard with longbows, and 2 Knights of Minas Tirith. And I pretty much took that. I didn't have as many knights. And I didn't have Guard of the Fountain Court. I lent into Rangers and normal Minas Tirith warriors. But I think I found that it's actually a really good list. And I don't know who will be using this, but either way, it's a very strong list. It's hard to use, but I'm guessing that the person who's going to be using it has either had a lot of practice or is a decent enough player anyway.
Yeah, it could be a throwaway list, but like I said, it can also work very well.
It's still 22 Fountain Court cards,
Yeah.
backed up by a lesser. Like that's not easy to shift.
No,
2 Fortress Spirit Heroes.
Yeah, I was going to say that, especially when you've got a lot of Angmar kicking about, a lot of magic control, that it's quite an attractive prospect to have 2 massive Uber heroes that can pretty much be invulnerable to it after the first or second turn. So that's an awesome list. I really like that. I'd love that one to be the one that's used in the tournament. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the 9. I think anyone who knows anyone in the Middle Earth meta will have a guess at who this is. It's the 9. I mean, what else is there to say about it? It's a strong army in the right hands, and I think it's probably in some very capable hands.
Yeah, they're very good. I played around with them for a few games, and they're nice. You can just pop out of a wall, back to Arctic, pop back behind the wall, repeat, rinse and repeat the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I've not actually played against them yet, but I know people who have, and they all struggle. But
I think they're another one of those legions. They're great, but they're kind of like that Assault Bliss Legion, where they're kind of that bit more oppressive.
Yeah, the mechanic is very what's the right word? It's troublesome. I would say the mechanic is troublesome.
Yeah, being able to
yes,
end the game
it does scare people for sure. It's a scary army. The magic though is really good. They can sort of play. It's a friend of mine coins certain legendary legions like playing solitaire. So this army can kind of move about, dart out behind the walls, do magic at the things they don't want to do, and then by the time there's a game to be played, they're just kind of coming in and mopping up what's left. So
yeah,
I mean, it does what it probably should do in the fluff.
I don't think I don't know. There's something. This is the 9 never fought like this. I mean, they kind of just they don't really fight, do they? They're just kind of.
They were the 5 and the 4.
Well, I suppose that's true. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, it just it doesn't quite work for me from a mechanic standpoint. I think it's a little too oppressive. Using the rules that existed to kind of enforce the sort of design philosophy here is like, well, they should have Harbinger, but it should be better. They will have terror. They should have magic, but it should be better. They have Will of Evil, but you need something to counteract that, or they'll be pants. It's like, okay, but it's all kind of congealed into this kind of really uninteresting army to play against.
It'd be, I think it'd be nice to see something change. I mean, you mentioned the Will of Evil thing, because that's the thing that really annoys me about it, is that it's taking away the coolest rule that ring rates have. And kind of, I don't know, even if it was something like, on a roll of a 4+, they get to keep the will at the end of a combat or something. And I know that involves a lot more rolling, but at least then there'd be a kind of will they, won't they kind of vibe, which I'd quite like to see something like that. But anyway, that's just me. And I think the final one, it is the final one, is this one, and which could be. I think I know who this one is. They've been playing this a bit recently. It's Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth with 14 men-at-arms of Dol Amroth, which is interesting. Oh, no, sorry, no. 7 knights of Dol Amroth, and then 7 men-at-arms, then a knight on horse, 6 knights, 6 men-at-arms, and a knight on horse. Then Gwynhir, Blackroot Vale with spear, Angbor the Fearless, and 4 clansmen of Lamadon. So this is 47 models.
Yeah.
It's got 2 pretty hitty power heroes in Imrahil and Forlong, and then you've got basically fight 5 or thereabouts wherever Imrahil is.
Forlong and fight 5 as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of power in here, and I've seen people talk about Dol Amroth and the sort of fiefdoms generally doing really well. And I've never really seen it in action here in the UK. I know in Australia that people talk about it a lot, but not here. Have you guys come across these sort of armies before?
I think why you don't like. I played against them, and I can see why you don't see them. It's the cost of it. Like the knights on foot. Like I was considering an army like this myself, but the knights of Dod Amroth just on foot, they're so expensive to get that army built, and everything's resin or metal. Metal's fine with the resin, especially the men at arms. You don't want to get a load of cool noodles on your pikes.
Yeah,
it's not great to get in a few blisters, but it's an army that shoots very well, and like that, it has a nice solid. I presume in this one he's going to have a typical shield and spear rather than an actual pike block, which he can form if he needs to be, especially around Angborn as well.
Yeah, I was going to say you can really fit into those sort of small gaps and anchor a position with your Dol Amroth Knights, and there aren't a lot that are going to shift that kind of pike block, is there?
No, indeed. Excuse me. I kind of liken it. It's so it's the sort of typical combined arms approach. It's kind of like Rivendell, but with bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of how a little bit how these guys function. Really, really powerful list. I think, like the child says, it's very expensive to collect because you've got a lot of guys. But yeah, I agree. I think it's genuinely very, very, very powerful. Anything that's like a sincere threat to Imrahil is not something you want to go up against. Like the likes of Angmar, if they get the oppressive magic off early with some good rolls, the army starts to shut down quickly.
Yeah.
So
although I suppose
your
Black Root Vale Archers will be a bit scary to something like Gulliver or whatever, because don't they have a bonus against monsters or something as well? Or is that,
the big man has D3 wounds against monsters.
That could be pretty nasty if.
When they're under the effects of a heroic shoot, don't they get to reroll to wound as well?
Yeah,
yes.
Something like that.
And by not moving, they get reroll ones to hit.
Yeah.
So
if you get one good turn of shooting, something like Gulliver can say goodbye, I suppose. Interesting though. So we won't talk about all of them because I did say we wouldn't, but there are loads, including United Arab Emirates, which is cool. I didn't know they were sending a team because it's the ETC, which surprised me, but that's cool. And so there's literally groups from all over the world. There's a world team. There's Northern Ireland. There's Italy. There's Ireland. 2 or 3 teams. There's Spain. Germany, England, Wales, Sweden, and so Poland. There's literally it's great. It's great to see. You love to see all this, and there's this random massive list here, which is displaying all the England ones in really massive bold. So there you go. Yeah. So there you go. That's the list. I've just seen some people chat, join in. Top Table Gaming, Steve just joined in. Good evening. This must be where the gorgeous people hang out. True.
Steve, you all flirt.
Yeah. Here, whilst my toothache doesn't get too bad. Great to see you three. I hope you're all well and excited for DOTN. DOTN?
Yeah. Defense of the North.
Defense of the North. Gosh, yeah. I was thinking it's one of his tournaments, but no. Welcome, Steve. Yeah, hopefully you'll catch up because we're probably pulling it to a close very soon. So apologies for that. But we've covered all the topics. We covered Defense of the North. We covered that's pretty much it. That Defense of the North. Talked about debate whether it's okay to leak things or not. We did my little quiz, and we've also talked a bit about ETC and Top Table Gaming's sort of stuff as well. So, guys, I know you're going to the ETC on Saturday. So best of luck with the tournament, and I guess thanks for coming along to the Entmoot live stream. It's been a pleasure to have you on the first one back, and thanks to Ivan who abandoned ship earlier on. Although I don't know the reasons why. I think he said he was running out of battery in his phone. So, guys. Much appreciated. Thanks for your insight and analysis. All the best. We'll kick you out, and I'll wrap some things up here, and we'll say goodbye. But cheers, Dave. Cheers, Donal.
All right. Cheers, Harry.
Cheers, guys. Lovely. So there you go. Dave and Donal, both Cork lads. They're going to be apping in Cork for the big ETC coming this weekend. So I'll just wrap things up. I said I'd finish at about 9 o'clock, and I'm pretty much there, which is good. Thanks everyone for joining in. I know you were all kicking off in the comments earlier about various different things. So I really appreciate all your comments and you watching. Hopefully you all settled into some painting and got some good hobby done. Do feel free to comment underneath the the Facebook post and the Great British Hobbit League that I put the link in this. I'd love to see any work that you successfully did, and if you're a patron, post any successful painting into the patron group, which I've got for if you're a patron as well. Coming up soon, I've got another podcast coming out on maybe Sunday, Monday, that sort of time, reviewing the tournament I went to last weekend, which was the City of Kings. So I've knocked a few out of the park pretty quickly. I've gone to quite a few tournaments that have been postponed and things like that over the last couple of years. So lots of podcast content. Maybe I'll pick this up in between those, because after next weekend or the weekend after, there's not going to be a tournament for a while, so there won't be an Entmoot podcast for a while. So maybe we'll get back on the Entmoot live streams for a bit. And also this weekend, Defence of the North pre-orders go up, so I'm going to do a big giveaway for patrons, for supporters of the channel and the podcast. So if you want to be in with a chance of doing that, then head on over. The links are in the comments below. If you want to get your chance of winning probably some dice, maybe something else. Not sure yet, haven't settled on it, but definitely get the Easterling dice will be given away. We'll see what the other things are. Maybe I think maybe the Dale Commanders or some Bjornings. I don't know when the Bjornings are released, so we'll see what comes out, and we'll give something away to patrons who are in there for a while. So that's good. That's exciting. Thanks very much. So a couple of comments just before we wrap up. Sean saying, thanks for the stream, guys. Lovely to listen on while painting my gun about ogres, even if the gaming chat boggled my head. Yeah, there's a lot of in-depth stuff at the end there, Sean. Hopefully it just provided an ambience of Middle Earth for you. Michael said, I pledged to a Kickstarter a short while earlier. Great. What Kickstarter is that? Sounds cool. I'd love to know more. Let me know. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So do check out the rest of the channel. Of course, I've got some the Battle Companies video up there, which did last week, and soon, very soon, filming another battle report. It's been a while because I've been away for a lot of weekends doing Entmoot, a lot of stuff in personal life, doing hobby stuff as well, but also just life. But we've got a big battle report being filmed in a couple of weeks' time. I think 3 weeks' time, which should be great fun. And hopefully it will be of a standard that is improving. So fingers crossed you enjoy that. So do keep an eye on the old channel. I think that's everything. So thanks very much for watching. Another Entmoot live streams will be back at some point. But in the meantime, enjoy yourself. Boo-ra-rum.
But now something is about to happen that has not happened for an age.